Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of my interview series where I'm interviewing different people from different professions in order to inspire young people who might want to pursue those careers. Today I am joined by Matt Robinson, who is an entrepreneur and philanthropist who runs Mr Robinsons Barbers in Rugby Town Centre. So thank you for joining us. How are you today, Matt?
I'm well, thanks, mate. Yeah,
Brilliant.
not too
Okay.
bad considering.
Yeah. All right. So the first question is, what did you want to be when you were younger? Did you always envision that you'd be running your own business one day?
To be completely honest, mate, no, I had absolutely no idea where or what
Yeah.
I was going to do with myself. Where we grew up, it just it didn't seem feasible or even plausible to be in that kind of position. To be blunt, we came from nothing, Sammy. So it's weird how it evolved because obviously yeah, now to have what we have, it's still sort of a form of nothing, if you like.
Yeah. So obviously talking about your younger days, how would you, looking back, how would you describe yourself? Like what kind of teenager would you say you were?
Oh, not the cleverest. um Very sort of distant. I had a very troubled upbringing, really. Again, didn't think that I'd ever be in a position of responsibility or anything like that. Certainly within the shop or within the church. But yeah, I think all of the experiences I had led up and attributed to where we stand today.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to hear. I actually was reading online a bit about you before this interview. I read
Oh,
in an
brilliant.
article that you were homeless for a period of time. Are you okay with sharing, you know?
Yeah, I don't mind. I've got no shame about my past or anything like that. So yeah, thank you for asking. For about 7 years, I was a sofa surfing, um, self-proclaimed hippie, if you like, very rebellious and very anti-establishment sort of attitude. A very sort of and a very dangerous person, some might say. I had a completely different outlook on life. Uh, Very angry, very very self-isolated, and very angry. Yeah.
So you obviously were talking about your troubled past, but then how did the idea going on for that? How was Mr. Robinson's Barbers born? Where did that come about?
Oh, back in 2011. So we're almost 10 years. I just decided that things had to change, and where I was working at the time. Bear in mind, I've been barbering professionally for a lot longer than since like 2011. But I decided that with the opportunities that we have in barbering and hairdressing or anything like that, and how it is all really about people, that it needed to be a little bit more than just about money, like it was where I was working at the time. It was focused and driven, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the business and about how to manage it. But I was more interested in people, Sammy, and taking care of people. The effect of giving somebody a good haircut and how they feel about themselves afterwards was way more important to me. So I started to dream up a place that reminded me a lot about how I first started cutting hair. And remember, like I said, I had a very sort of sketchy past, and putting nothing and nothing together and still being able to come up with something, using barbering and cutting hair as a way and means of making money without doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, sort of thing. So at that time, it was a very community sort of focused way of living, a very close knit community. We all looked after each other, and I thought that the industry where it was going was very it was too flashy. It was very salon based, nothing really for men in their own sort of sense of like space. So a barber shop that sort of opened its doors to everybody, everybody, specifically for men, rather than just a salon with flashy this and flashy that. I wanted somewhere that felt like home and where people could feel secure and feel like themselves and be themselves. Because, you know, I just felt like there wasn't really anything out there like that cared more about people than money.
I think what I also found interesting as well was reading about you is that your ethos of keep it handsome, how about it's more like an attitude than just a look.
Yeah, definitely, Sammy.
Just around that ethos. And
Well, we have a thing: keep it handsome, keep it humble, and keep it honest. You know, if anything, yes, handsome is more than just how you look, because it's the effect. Like I said, the effect of having a good haircut, having a good treatment, or anything like that. Guaranteed, you're going to feel good about yourself. The next conversation you have with somebody else, whilst you're feeling like that, it spreads, I hope, and then people sort of in a sort of Pentecostal way, if you like, that it generates, doesn't it? And I encourage people to keep it that way and keep that attitude. That way, you're spreading a very positive sort of message, and the world needs more of that, Sammy. You know,
yeah,
especially like Rugby area where we are, where I came from. Things seem to be getting out of hand, and because I had the background, I could then approach those people and not look like a complete moron, you know, or somebody coming in trying to tell us how to behave and you don't know what you're talking about. Well, actually, mate, I'm pretty sure we do, you know. So we're just trying to bring out the best of people, rather than come for a haircut that fits you. We want you to fit your own best personal appearance, you know, do what's best for you and make you feel good about how you are, rather than just like most places be like, oh, you can have this haircut or you can have that haircut. We wanted to make people feel their best. So keep it handsome was a real big thing for us. Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant message of positivity as well. I think, and as you said, we all need, you know, more positivity, especially now.
Especially nowadays, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, really. The sort of the I don't want to sound like it too big-headed, like, but the barbershop is and always has been throughout history a real place of community, and it can be a hub of positivity. You know, people come there guaranteed. Well, we guarantee and hope that everybody who leaves there does genuinely feel better about themselves. So it's a starting point and meeting point of like-mindedness, and yeah, we need more of that, even more of that nowadays, and hopefully not too long now, and we'll be able to go back and start really sort of taking care of people.
So Matt, obviously you're known very much for, you know, working in barbers for many years, but you're also
Mhm.
involved in charitable works. Can you share a bit about what kind of charity that you're involved in?
Yeah, again, Mr Robinsons actually started on the floor below what was then Rugby's homeless shelter, the Hope 4 Centre. And we actually began trading with the mindset that anybody who come in and paid for a haircut, it was actually partially supporting the Rugby homeless at the time, by way of donations or people being able to donate time. Hope 4 was a church-led initiative, see, and I was aware of it since 2011. And when Mr Robinsons opened in 2013, Hope 4 was quite a small community of church-going people. That it was a church-led initiative, but unless you were sort of part of a congregation or anything like that, Sammy, it was very difficult to become involved in it, and not a lot of people were even aware as to why so many people in that area, for example, were congregating every day. And once we started talking to people that were getting a haircut and sat in the chair, we were like, look, mate, they're actually just waiting to get some food. They're actually just waiting to, you know, secure a bed for the night. And people were genuinely shocked at the amount of people, for starters, and that they didn't know or were aware of how they could help. So Mr Robinsons was a great sort of bridge between the two, between the church and the sort of, you know, the community, if you like. We had plumbers that would offer to fix people's pipes. We had electricians that wanted to get help doing somebody's fixing somebody's electric problems, whatever. It was turned into a food bank. So we'd actually, instead of charging you for your haircut, if you bought enough food, then we could then send that food upstairs and make sure that everybody that was going to Hope For had enough food, had enough everything. And yeah, it's still going on. We still do it through the church. And then in 2017, I think it was, we met a guy who was doing his own initiative, and we decided that Mr Robinsons actually has enough space to provide it itself. So now, from our quite sort of tight-knit back garden, we asked a lot of those plumbers, electricians, carpenters, if they could build us something. And yeah, literally, if you come up there now, we have a whole kitchen and shelter built where people come up at the weekends and are given free vegan food, but they're also given clothes that are donated by customers that come to the barbershop, mind you, and others as well. It's sort of self-sustained homeless shelter now, run by volunteers and led by the community. And again, another way to keep it handsome, Sammy. You know?
Yeah, I just love the fact that, it's a local business providing a service to others, but also helping those in the local area who are less fortunate. I think that's brilliant.
Well, thank you, Sammy. But I think, it's really important that we sort of, what is the point, really? That's how it sort of sat with me. What is the point, Sammy, of sending somebody out with a really nice haircut, looking really good, if they've got to walk past people that couldn't afford one, can't even, it didn't bode well with me. And from a sort of, from a outside looking in sort of thing, it meant a lot to me to be able to offer it, and for a chance to empower those people that wanted to help, because you can't do everything, Sammy. You can't let it all take over your life. I cut all the hair and I did all the shelter and I did all the church and I did everything else, Sammy. I wouldn't have any time to do anything else. So it was a blessing, really, to be able to empower other people using the platform that we had, and generating that kind of love for the community, love for our town, and of all ages as well, like the young kids. I've always said that, and it's sad, really, but there is a stage when some people are not completely past help, but I've always believed that prevention is better than the cure. So letting younger people know that there is a space where they can get help. Certainly, like when I was homeless, Sammy, I wasn't aware of what the church were doing. I wasn't aware that there was anywhere where I could go and get free clothes or a care of a dress, or even have a shower or anything like that. But now it's quite hopefully now it's quite common knowledge.
Well, Matt, you certainly built up a successful business and you made a difference in the community. So what's next for what you've planned?
I think we're going to continue to pray and hope that, we have the opportunity to do what we can. I've never really had a business plan, Sammy. I build people rather than build a business, because if you just build a business and forget about the people, then what business have you really got? Whereas if you build people around you and empower others around you, surely we can all bounce off that. And if Mr Robinsons evolves into something other than hair or anything, I think as long as we have the handsome ethos, we could do anything, Sammy. And anything is possible if you genuinely believe in yourself, believe in your message, and stay positive. Anything is possible. Even for all the kids that you're coming across to, who feel like they've got no hope or they've got no ambition, then really just to look at their own reflection and say, actually, I can achieve anything if I'm just willing to try.
I think this actually transitions very nicely into the next question, which is, what advice would you give to young people who perhaps have a goal of starting their own business or want to embark on something ambitious?
Yeah, definitely. I implore people to try anything. There is no such thing as failure, Sammy. There are only attempts at success. No failure, no such thing. Eradicate that word from your vocabulary, because you cannot fail. As long as you are sincere and completely sold on a dream, Sammy, completely believe in what you're doing to be right, and actually check whether or not it does benefit other people, then there's no reason why it shouldn't succeed. Like yourself, Sammy, you impress the hell out of me with
Thank
your drive and ambition, mate. I wish you all the power and success that will bring. And mate, we can do anything. We are only limited by our own limitations, if you like. We're the ones in control of what we can do and how we can do it. It's, do we believe in ourselves enough to get up and do it? And I think anybody can do anything, honestly.
I think that's absolutely brilliant. It pretty much goes in line with what I've also been trying to say. It's never impossible to try and aim for what.
No. Impossible. Spell it out, Sammy, and it's
Yeah.
I'm possible. It's just
Yeah.
it's I am possible. Anything is possible, bro. Whether you have a faith or whether you're just driven by success, I honestly believe if you're passionate about it and what you are doing has a benefit to your community and humanity, if you like, then people will warm to you because they can spot the genuine Sammy, unless you're a complete fraud, like you're somebody trying to be something else. Like, I'm a barber, I can't be a mechanic,
Yeah.
Trying to be a barber, or a barber trying to be a mechanic. I have to solely give myself to my trade and be 100%. If you give 100%, you will get 100% back.
All right. So that was the last question. So thank you
Oh,
very,
wow.
very much for taking the time to, have this discussion, have this dialogue. I think you would have inspired a lot of young people who do watch this and do follow me on social media as
I
well.
hope so, man. I hope so. And Sammy, can I just say, honestly, you really do impress me, man. It's a joy to watch you grow. And we've known each other. You've been coming to the shop.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have great hopes and expectations for you, mate. I think you're a lovely lad who's got a very bright future, bro.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done, mate. Well done. We need more people like you, especially through this. But you're the next generation, man. So yeah, well done, mate.
Thank you very much. And obviously thank you guys, the viewers who are watching this. My next, and thank you to Matt for taking the time.
It's a
Interview.
pleasure, mate.
The next interview is tomorrow with the MP of Rugby, Mark Pawsey. But until then, thank you very much for watching. And thank you, Matt, as well, once again.
Take care, mate. Stay well.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.